What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 89 of EZPZ Podcast. We've got a great episode for you today. Joining me this week, Nick.
What's up, guys?
Clem.
Hello.
And Antoine. What's up, Antoine?
Hi, everyone.
Antoine is one of Clem's really good friends. We'll dive right into that. Today we got a good show, though. We're going to talk about the PlayStation Classic. Just got announced. $100 price point. We got some stuff to say about that, of course. The European and U.S. gambling regulators signed that agreement to tackle gambling and gaming. We've got Telltale Games confirms majority staff laid off. But first, let's introduce Antoine. We've had a podcast, I think it was episode 59, so 30 episodes ago now. We introduced Clem into the fold. That was pretty awesome. So 30 episodes later, we get you, Antoine. What's up? I want to have you guys just have a conversation about how you guys even met, how you guys even know each other.
Yeah, so go ahead, Antoine.
So Clement and I met in Chicago. We were both studying in Chicago for a year. Clement had been in Chicago for 2 months or 3 months before me. You were doing an internship, whatever. So we met at school, just arrived, just landed in that new country. I knew nothing. I wasn't speaking English very well. My accent was even worse than it is today.
I don't know if you can recognize the accent, but he's French. He's a French body.
Don't know if you can tell. French boy.
Yeah, so Clement, I met him the first day at school, and very quickly he helped me, took me under his wing, I don't know if you can tell, and she told me where to leave, where not to leave, what things, and I mean, we got along very quickly, fairly quickly. 2 weeks after, I think we were traveling to San Francisco already.
Antoine and I travel. We try to travel a lot together. Like, of course, we're not gonna do everything together because we have also our own life for sure.
Yeah.
But we try to. Yeah, we've been to a few places. San Francisco was our first trip. Boston, Dallas, Mexico for during spring break. It was awesome.
So you guys went to school together at the same college?
We so in the
France, you mean, or
No, in Chicago.
yeah,
Okay.
same school.
yeah.
Same school and same like program with friends. Same
For
like,
engineering. Then.
partnership. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we didn't do
Engineering.
the same major though.
Yeah.
Okay. So
He's
you're mechanical.
Yeah.
And you're
IT.
okay.
Yeah, I'm more IT. He's like aerospace.
Aerospace, yeah.
Mechanical engineering.
Nice.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah.
That's cool.
That sounds better than it is.
It makes it so cool. So
He's
yeah,
not the pilot.
you guys spent a lot of your downtime as students. You said we were talking last night at the bar at Juniper Moon, but we were talking about how you guys spent a lot of time traveling. So you guys both like just are travel buddies.
Yeah, I mean,
Say
I guess we had the same interest, and as I was telling you, I think I thought at the beginning that I was going to be in the US only for a year, only that year in that school. After graduating, I would go back.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to see as much as I could in the US or around, because it's always closer to go from Chicago to San Francisco than going from Paris to San Francisco.
yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think we tried to take advantage as much as we could of every time off we had.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
smart.
It
What was
was-
your favorite place that you guys went then?
Oh man,
hard to say.
everything was fun. All the trips were fun. I mean,
I
I
think-
can't remember of a trip that was bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's different because, for instance, when we were in Mexico, we went Cancun, like 5 guys, and some of the time, Antoine and I were in Las Vegas, and we went to Grand Canyon, so more like visiting, like not really like
Touristy
So
stuff.
yeah, more touristy.
I think you've seen more states than me.
Right?
And Antoine, like,
Yeah.
jeez, that's crazy.
It's so it's always when you leave somewhere
Right.
that you don't go. You're like,
Sure.
oh, I'll go later. I don't
Sure.
know that much about France because
Yeah, I guess
The
that's
country
true.
where you live, like you don't have the same interest like visiting because it's your own country, so you just live, But for us, it's still like it's different,
new,
and, so of course. But
Yeah,
I don't
plus
know,
when you
yeah.
have like the time deadline, like 1 year, that's all I have. I
Right.
have to see like
Take
as much.
advantage of it, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
That makes sense.
So yeah, traveling a lot, seeing a lot of cool stuff. But what was your guys' favorite? I guess Clem, I already know a lot about your favorite stuff in Chicago, but I guess Antoine, what was your favorite like restaurants or like things to do in Chicago while you were a student?
Oh man, Chicago was a blast for me. I had never lived in a big city before, and so I got to really experience that. And I fell in love with Chicago. Chicago is amazing. What I love there is speakeasies.
Oh,
you know the
nice.
concept of speakeasies.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what it was before. We didn't, we haven't had prohibition in France at some point, right? So
Right.
I found myself once getting into one speakeasy in Chicago. I don't know how, was in a guide, in a book, whatever. I ended up there and I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like that kind of hidden bar, this ambience and all.
Okay.
I didn't know it was called speakeasy. I didn't know it was a concept that you
Right.
can find other places. And actually, I think it's Madison who I was describing to her that I had been to a bar that was really cool, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's called speakeasies."
Right.
And then my big thing in Chicago after was trying to find speakeasies.
Oh,
speakeasies.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Maybe he would have liked the one in Montreal.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about that.
Like you
Okay.
told me about, yeah.
It was kind of a weird experience because we didn't have a drink.
It took a long.
It took a long time to get a drink, and it was just like we didn't understand the rules really. And then
Yeah.
you guys got there a little bit later with your cousin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Friend,
but we talked about it on the Montreal podcast. What's up,
Yeah.
Nick?
So is it for? I don't think I've ever been to one that I can recall. So is it like something where it's like underground, like you have to have like a password, or like what is it like? How do you?
Yeah.
It's just like a hidden thing that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
couldn't tell by walking by. It's a bar, or
Yeah, the idea is it's hidden. It's
Yeah.
hidden in a certain way. You're not supposed to know from the outside that there is
Sure.
a bar there. So
I got you.
they hide it the way they want.
Mhm.
There is various one. Some my favorite is under a restaurant. So you have to go
Okay.
in the restaurant and
then go
ask
down.
at the front desk to go to that specific place.
That's
and
And have a password possibly.
there is a sort of password for this one. You say, I'd like to go to the library, because that room is called the library.
That's cool.
Sometimes you cross a barbershop and
Yeah.
it's, you have to
Wow.
cross the barbershop and it's behind the barbershop.
Yeah, in Dallas we went
Dallas,
to one. It
that's
was
cool.
behind a barbershop. So it was in the evening. Some guys are being groomed, I think. It's like old style barbershop,
Sure, yeah.
very sweet. And you cross, no one look at you, as if
Yeah.
nothing happened. And
Just
you go, you open one
normal.
door, and then it's behind.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
You're right.
So-
that is a cool concept. I just wish that one in Montreal that we went to was there was something about it. I
Yeah.
just didn't
Yeah,
like-
no, for sure.
They had like this weird game thing, right? They gamified
Right,
it.
they're like you have to like find answers.
A murder
and-
mystery.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. So I guess sort of Black Sheep would kind of be like that because you can't really tell by walking
Yeah,
by
yeah.
it that it's a
It's the closest speakeasy we have.
Probably
I mean-
in the East Village, yeah.
not necessarily speakeasy,
But it's
like,
that kind of like
looking
ambiance
outside
where
it.
it's like a basement. It's like
Right.
it looks like just a doorway.
Right.
So for instance, the one in Montreal, I think we spoke about this. I don't know if you were on the episode, Nick, when we got back from Montreal, but like the one that we went to, we had an address. We went to it. It was like a door that opened to a brick wall.
Oh, weird.
Legit, just brick wall. And we were like knocking, like, hey, let us in. We were just acting stupid. We were like a few drinks in.
Sure.
And then apparently, like, some dude came to the door and he told us, but like to the left side
Right.
of the brick wall, there was a brick that you could push and it would
What?
unlock the door.
That's great.
That's so
And
cool.
so yeah, that's cool. Like I do agree. Like that's something that maybe I think I personally. So my thing when I travel, the travel podcast now. But my thing when I travel, I really love to go to arcade bars. That's
Sure.
something I've just
Yeah,
recently
yeah.
been doing, like in the last 2-3 years.
Mhm.
I really wish we could have found one in Puerto Rico, but basically my love for arcade bars grew because of Chicago. I love that Emporium. I don't know if you've ever been to that Emporium. The one
It's
that
in Logan Square. Logan Square.
I think
It's
there is
it's a
one
big
in Fullerton.
there's
as
two.
well.
Yeah. I'm talking about the big one with the gigantic ceiling. It looks like an aircraft hangar almost. Would you
Right,
say?
right, yeah.
Like just humongous vaulted ceiling. Anyway, I went there and I just had an awesome time with Clem.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a great time. But then we went to SF and we went to an arcade bar. Montreal had a really cool
Yeah.
arcade bar. So I think what I'm getting at, Antoine, is I need to start doing the speakeasy and arcade bar when I travel. Because I do agree there is always some cool concepts. They have some cool drinks, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's usually like a better drink menu. It's like
Cocktails.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
sort of cocktails. I'm a lot into cocktail. I think I'm a lot into this prohibition era, this
Sure.
classic era.
Yeah.
Fine cocktail,
Right.
fine people, ambience and stuff like
Sure.
that.
His username on Instagram is Speakeasy.
Oh, that's
Oh.
cool.
Easy,
Nice.
easy speak
Easy speak easy.
Easy speak easy.
That's
oh,
awesome.
well, I actually need to
I
write
like
that
that.
down. I'll get that for you for the show notes.
Yeah,
'cause I-
anyone can follow me.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Well, we will talk about the end of the show, but first, let's keep talking about you, I guess. Here, so you live in Detroit now. So what do you think about Detroit?
Oh man, Detroit is it's an experience. It's definitely a unique city. It's a city that I'm very glad to be living in right now. I think 10 years ago I would not have lived there. In 10 years, I don't know if I would live there.
Sure.
Right now, it's moving a lot. It's changing so fast. It's growing. It's coming back from its ashes. It's a lot of stuff are going on. A lot of artist stuff. A lot of very high, very modern. I don't know how to describe it, but I've been living there for 2 years, and I see how things have changed in 2 years. That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I started when I moved there. There was no street light.
What?
There was no street light on my apartment. The way they had lights on the street at critical areas like crosswalk and stuff like that was this kind of what when they do some work they have a generator with some light and they had that
That's
to light the
crazy.
street. No, it's still not a real city. No, I
Sure,
shouldn't say that. It's still unique.
It's nice,
Man,
yeah.
it's changing. Like every month you have a new restaurant. Every
Sure.
month you have a new bar, a new coffee shop. We don't have speakeasies yet. I mean, there is
Not
a
even
couple,
one?
but
You should open one.
yeah.
There you go, yeah.
Then he would be tied to the city, and he's like, you can tell he's got the travel bug.
So it's super interesting.
That's awesome.
It is very interesting. I would recommend anyone to go right now. Like, don't wait 5 years. It's gonna be
Sure.
too touristy. Right now, it's
Right.
a big mix. You still have this contrast between abandoned stuff that are all being rebuilt at the time, all being investment, a lot of investment. You still have this contrast between the empty stuff and the new stuff. New stuff meaning old building refurbished into something so cool. So you have this contrast, modern, old. Oh, that's crazy.
something that's really happened, blown up in Des Moines the last 5 or 10 years, I would say, is repurposing those old buildings and turning it into apartments and shops, and the East Village is all like that,
Yeah, it seems like it's a trend for many cities.
It definitely
I was surprised by Des Moines as well. I was surprised by that.
My first apartment building, the Rumley Lofts, used to be like an old train depot, and they turned it into lofts,
That's
so
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, same for our place actually.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
all like motor building
Oh,
or like
yeah,
printing
yeah.
building. I'm not quite sure, but
Right.
right now it's apartments.
Clem's apartment is very sweet.
Yeah, I do like
Yeah.
his place. It's pretty tight.
You went and visited Antoine in Detroit. What do
Yeah,
you
I
think
did.
about Detroit, Clem?
It's nice. I mean, really nice. Like as I say, it's really like interesting this contrast between the new development and these huge factories empty. Like we visited like huge like miles and miles like factories completely empty, and it's kind of scary. Like we went to
sort of a ghost town.
Right, ghost town. I mean, they don't like people who are actually from Detroit. They hate like that term,
Sure,
of course.
well, yeah.
But yeah, it's and you can go from a place where it's empty and after like a hipster place. So it's really nice this contrast. And I don't know if I will live there. But yeah, it was. I mean, and of course because Antoine lived there. When you have someone who lived there for a couple years or something, it's so nice to visit because you get the real like experience.
They
like
can show you.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like Antoine coming to Des Moines. He's probably
Yeah.
seen a good chunk of things.
Right,
Just
right.
in the day and a half
Right.
he's been here.
Yeah.
Did a
Lydia-
lot. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We can talk about that in a second. I just want to mention Lydia and I were watching Vice News on Detroit like 3-4 months ago. They had like a expose about how one neighborhood will have this like 900,000 square foot like factory that's completely empty and it has debris and trash everywhere, and then like just a mile, like less than a couple blocks away, it'll just be a nice neighborhood with like restaurants and life and nightlife and like all that stuff. So
It's crazy.
it's just like one of those things that is coming up from the ashes.
So
Like-
it was
Right.
just like a big industrial city that like went under, and now they're trying to like refurbish it. Or
He was huge. I
Yeah.
think from what I can read or see,
right.
it was one of the first city in the U.S.
Yeah.
It-
Well,
the-
what Detroit Motor City or
Yeah,
whatever.
Right,
yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
my son dad just told us that in the 70s, 60s, 70s, like Detroit has had 2 million people, and it was the second biggest city in the U.S.
Yeah,
maybe after Chicago at that time.
Right. Yeah.
And of course,
crazy.
right, I don't know how many people right now.
I have no idea. It's like very.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
700,000 or something probably.
But it's very
spread.
big in geography. Like in area, they like to compare it to Manhattan, Queens, and other city together, and they say Detroit is bigger. Detroit is very
Spread out.
big, but it's not dense today. What
Sure,
you said,
yeah.
you have neighborhoods that are very empty.
Sure.
So The number of people, I don't
Okay,
know.
okay.
The downtown is kind of small, but the number of people, I don't know.
No, for sure. I mean, it's a city that was on the top, and
Sure.
went down, and right now
It's on the rise again.
yeah.
On that incline.
Yeah. The only thing I ever think about when I think of Detroit is like everybody's flags at festivals. The Detroit hustles harder.
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah.
Are you familiar with that? Like, what's that all about?
There is a couple mottos in Detroit about things for the city. There is a Detroit never stops. Say
Yeah.
good things about Detroit. Detroit hustles harder.
Okay.
People are very proud of
Right.
their city, and I
Yeah.
mean it's great. And
That's cool.
yeah,
I love that. That's awesome. And, well, because they have to right now, right? Like
Yeah.
they have to. Every citizen has to work harder. They need to be purchasing goods and services from Detroit
Yeah.
companies or even just a mom and pop shop, like
Local,
buy local. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
that's
I will say
exactly.
there's a lot of great like EDM artists that are coming out of, and just music in general. A lot of great music comes out
Yeah.
of Michigan, but
Everyone knows
and a
about
lot of
Eminem,
artists.
right?
Yeah,
Not
right.
exactly EDM, but
Well, yeah, and a lot of artists.
I mean,
and
so many shows in Detroit,
very-
so many artists go there. Odessa, Louis the Child, they all like tour and
Oh, yeah.
they all stop in Detroit at some
Yeah, it's
point.
always a big stop.
It
It's on my
says that the techno, it says that the techno is, I mean, it's the real techno is starting in London, I think, but it was in Detroit was a big star of it.
yeah.
too.
Some people call Detroit techno city. They
Techno
say,
city,
Some
Wow.
people say techno's
Yeah.
kind of started also in Detroit. There is a
Well-
huge festival every year called Movement
Mhm.
in downtown Detroit.
Okay.
I think it's in June sometime. It's a huge techno festival.
Nice.
I'm not big on techno, so I don't know any headliners
Sure.
or anyone famous, but
Yeah.
I know it's worldly renowned
Yeah.
for this festival.
That's awesome.
dang, Detroit hustles harder.
Go
Yeah.
visit if
So
you have
speak-
if you have a weekend, go visit in Detroit.
I mean, it's on my list of cities I need to visit for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin's on that though. LA, there's so
Sure.
many. Like, I haven't seen near as much as you, Antoine and Clem, but like, I gotta see it. So speaking about the music, Clem kind of alluded to it with all these tours going to Detroit and whatnot. What are your music tastes? This is a music-centric podcast. We talk about music festivals all summer, leading into the fall, leading into Snowda now for New Year's Eve.
It never really stops.
It never stops. We're always talking about live music, and it doesn't have to always be EDM. So,
Sure.
what kind of music are you usually into, or do you listen to music? Is that like a big part of your day?
Yeah. I listen to a lot of music, a lot of various kind of music actually. To go back on the speakeasy stuff, I kind of like jazz at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Sinatra, this kind of era that goes into the speakeasy kind, the 30s and stuff.
Yeah.
That really moves me. That is cool, but that has a certain ambience. I don't listen to
Oh, yeah.
that every day.
For
you know.
sure.
I like.
See, I didn't know that. I'm learning stuff.
There you go.
I love a few Sinatra songs. Actually, I have on one of my million notes, my copious notes. I have a wedding playlist because Lydia and I are getting married next year. But like, I've already put a couple Frank Sinatra songs on there. So yeah, I love
Cool.
Frank Sinatra as well.
This kind of music with a nice cocktail.
Right, yeah,
It's playing on a record player. It's just
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
an ambience. It's just amazing.
Definitely.
But I mean, otherwise more let's say current kind of music.
Would you say like pop or top 40? Like, do you listen to like the radio or like Sirius XM or anything like that?
I don't listen too much to the radio. I listen on Spotify and
Okay.
try to find new playlist and stuff like that going on. But some sort of electro for sure is what I like. Odessa, I really love Odessa. Clement, I like it a lot. I went to see them in Detroit. They came in Detroit like a year ago. That was amazing. I went back to Lollapalooza this year in Chicago.
Okay.
No
Nice.
way.
Kind of almost only to see them because I
Nice.
just love
Yeah.
their
That's awesome.
song and the show as well. The show is amazing.
Well, you're going to get along well with all of us and our listeners because Odessa is one of all of our favorite artists for
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're going to be seeing Odessa. Lydia and I are going to be seeing Odessa again here for Halloween. So that's going to be kind of awesome.
That's amazing.
Cool. So, let's talk about your Des Moines trip. Let's dive
Yeah.
into that. What do you do? You've only been here for like a day and a half.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you still have seen a lot. I know Clem's a great tour guide.
So we did. Yeah,
That's
we
right,
went.
that's right.
We went biking yesterday. Clement knows I like to bike
Yeah.
inside cities.
I know that.
I think it's a cool way to
Explore.
to explore, to
It
find
definitely
about
is.
the place. Because you
Quick
go, when you go with a car, you go from one point A to one point B, and
Right.
then you don't really see what's in between, and you don't leave opportunity to random things that you don't know to find. And with your bike,
There's only one person paying attention to where you're going when you're in a car.
Yeah.
One per driver. So I have to give a huge shout out to Clem and Madison for getting me to go on that bike tour in New Orleans. That was still one of my favorite memories from that trip, which is still one of my favorite trips.
Yeah, that's awesome for sure.
Yeah, biking, I think it's a really cool way to find out about a city because you go through places that you may not think have interest, and then as you're, biking, and you're like, oh, that's a cool place. Let's stop there and let's try to explore.
It's also like if like someone living in the Moines will bike to go to the East Village.
Yep.
And we take the same way, and except that we look around and I say, Antoine, this is this. But yeah, it's a quick way, and it was this weekend was beautiful. The weather, so it was just perfect.
Yeah. Des Moines and just like Iowa in general is hugely pro bike for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
Huge
with
biking.
Ragbri and just all the bike lanes and we're super pro bikes.
They say that we're really bad at keeping our bikers safe. But I mean, what can we're doing better, I think.
Yeah. I have a coworker that just got hit by a car on his bike.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Is he like injured?
I mean, he broke his wrist. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's Des Moines for you.
Be careful out there.
Safe.
Well, we got lucky.
No, yeah, it's
true.
Yeah, I mean, people are aware.
No, we did a lot yesterday. So Antoine, it's like some people, you guys listening, like, don't be afraid of like traveling just for a weekend. It's not too short. A weekend is plenty of time to do stuff. Yeah. When you have 2 full nights and a day and a half, because most of the time you have to catch your flight, end of evening, like Antoine will do. But yeah, we burned to a few on Friday. We went out, show him some bar around stuff. And on Saturday, the farmer's market.
Oh yeah. Nice. You guys got out to the farmer's market?
Yeah, we did it.
Wow. And you know what we ate? We ate some croissants.
Yeah.
And they were good.
On the sand. It was
Classic.
really nice.
Were they like legit good?
Yeah. And they were kind of
authentic.
I'd say cheap. For the US, they were really affordable and good quality. And we had them with a coffee and we sat at the sun next to the river.
Nice.
Wow. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. After we back to this restaurant that I actually really like. I've been there it was only my second time, but Captain Roy.
Okay.
By the river, and they do during the summer they have a truck with fish mostly, like type of food, fish sandwich, stuff like that. So that was very nice too. Back to the East Village, have coffee, and back home.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did a lot. That was nice. That was a long day.
How many miles do you think you would bike total?
We did. It's hard to say, but maybe not much. Maybe 5.
It wasn't that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea in mileage, but it wasn't really.
When we went from Captain Roy to Confluence, we also stopped at Confluence. This brewery.
Yeah.
It was a 30-minute bike ride,
Sure.
so maybe 3 miles, something like that. So
Very nice.
I know. And yesterday had more like a nights. Went out.
Get a little bit of the nightlife.
So what do you think about Juniper Moon then? Did you get one of those, a nice cocktail? I saw that you were drinking a pseudo soup.
I was drinking a beer. I had been drinking just before coming to Juniper. I was drinking a cider, so I had a kind of very sweet aftertaste, or I wasn't in for a cocktail that is sweet. I love cocktails, but there is time for beers. I love beers as well, and time for cocktails.
Yeah, for sure.
I would have. Juniper would really be a place where I would try one.
Agreed.
The ambience looks for it. They look great, but it wasn't the right timing for me.
Yeah, they have a Moon Mule there that I mean, it's like the most basic drink they make, but I love it. I got 2 last night. Like you could, just like you were saying though, you can feel your stomach kind of feel weird after drinking all that sugar and stuff.
Yeah.
And we went to Essen House and got a boot.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Got 2 boots.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
So your stomach ache went away.
Because you guys need to know I was tired and
you were down and out.
And I work. I mean, I try to be here for my friends,
Sure,
and I went away like 2 or 3 hours, like around 10:30, 11. I was feeling better finally, and so I drank my first iLife at like 11. I was like, okay, and we went have a couple of boots. It was a nice night.
Sounds like you checked a lot of stuff off the list. Like I can't really think of much more that you would.
Today would be an awesome opportunity to go to Up Down afternoon, but
yeah. We can.
Up
see.
down's fun. I like, but that's not really your thing. Like
What is a
barcade?
It's a barcade.
Like,
bar.
We can try. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'd be happy to find out. But I don't think I've ever been to arcade bar. I guess.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Let's see then.
But cool. So let's talk
Yeah.
about.
Speaking arcades. and
Speaking of
games.
gaming, let's talk about PlayStation. The PlayStation Classic just got announced for $100, right off the heels of the last couple years, the NES Classic, which was $60 for 30 games. That came out originally in 1986.
Wow.
30 years later, I think, is when they announced it, 2016, and it came out. SNES Classic, $80 for 21 games. That came out originally in 1991. The PlayStation Classic, though, that $100 price tag, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
2 controllers. Not really. Comes with 30 games, I believe. They've already announced 5.
$100
Yeah.
with 30 games.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
The 2 controllers really does it for me. I didn't realize it was 2 controllers, and the previous ones were always just 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, I
so-
think the SNES Classic's 2.
Did it come with 2?
Yeah. So, the games announced: Tekken 3, Final Fantasy 7, Jumping Flash, Wild Arms, and Ridge Racer Type 4. Nick, toss it to you. What do you think about this?
So far, I mean, those are some of the top games on their list, I guess. So like Final Fantasy 7 was a huge game for me growing up.
Yep.
So that one right there was really
Did
awesome.
you finish it?
Yeah, did you ever play it when you were a kid? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I always played it as a kid. I never finished the
Yeah.
game.
The question is, did you finish it?
No, I never
Because
finished it.
It's
Real
really-
quick, I do have
It's
to
tough.
correct myself. It's 20 games.
Okay.
Right.
So $5 each, really.
Okay.
That's still not bad. So they've announced those 5.
Mhm.
So Final Fantasy 7, you finished it when you were a kid?
No, I never finished
Okay,
it.
okay.
But I played it a lot. Like I had a friend of mine growing up, Jake, and for like a whole summer, I would just go to his house and watch him play Final Fantasy 7. That's like all that we did, and we would like play Pokemon and shit.
Do you remember this like race, like Chocobo race?
Yeah,
like, on
dude.
This little like
Yep.
dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
The
That's
like
so
chicken
fun.
looking things?
Yeah, this
Like
kind of
yellow-
dinosaur, right? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what it is really, but and you had to like you do like little races and stuff. I love Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a really great game, and I want to play some of the newer ones that have come out recently. I just don't have the time to commit to that.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem with Final Fantasy, in my opinion. Like, Final Fantasy 15, all the reviews that came out for it were like, after 15 hours, the game gets good. I don't have 15 hours to put into a game. Like, I just beat
Yeah.
Steamworld Dig 2, and it took me 11, 12 hours, and the whole game was good.
Sure,
Like, I'd
right.
rather just play something like, and it costs a fraction of the price, $20 versus that $60
It's
price.
definitely a big commitment.
Polygons just don't transfer very well, in my opinion. So, like, you know, SNES Classic and the NES Classic, those
Right.
look great because it's 16-bit.
Yep.
But I don't think those polygons are going to look good.
That's what a lot of people were debating if they're gonna hold up. And I mean, I'm interested to see what else they come out with, because like the games I played on PlayStation growing up were like, there was that Spider-Man game that was out for PS1 that I was obsessed with. I loved that game.
Yeah, people are thinking that that's a possibility with the just new release of PlayStation 4 Spider-Man.
Right. Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Tony Hawk Pro
I think
Skater
they
would be
should. I think
tough.
they should definitely.
Well, what
I
about
know.
all those songs? They have to get rights back
True.
again for all of those songs.
True. So
The
that's probably
soundtrack
not-
would be super tough.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to say that Tony
Hawk's Pro Skater.
Hawk.
How are you going to play Tony Hawk without the the sticks either? These controllers don't have those sticks.
Yeah, you don't play with sticks. You just play
Wait,
with
really?
the arrows.
The D-pad.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, you could play with
I
that,
played
but-
this game so much that I got blisters.
Oh, yeah.
a
Yep.
lot of blisters on
Yep.
my thumb.
Oh, yeah,
my
dude.
thumb because
Same here.
because when you flip the boards,
Yep.
you press like the square and the cross, you know,
Yep.
whatever, and so you need to like flip your fingers
Uh-huh.
through the controller,
You just
and
rub
I
it
got
through,
like
yeah.
blisters. Oh man!
Oh yeah,
love
man. I
this
remember
game.
my thumbs being sore from gaming.
Right.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. What else? I played the one I did like a lot that it's probably not going to go, but I played Manhunt a lot too. That was like one of my favorite PlayStation games.
Right on. Yeah, Manhunt 2 ended up coming out for the Wii.
Right.
And
Didn't-
I don't know.
that was
I don't
it.
know if I played it. It was fun. I think it's a really brutal game, right?
It is, yeah.
You're like
It was super brutal.
first person going and killing people with like crowbars and whatnot.
You had to like, it was like one of the first, well, not the first, but it was like a sneak around and like capture people.
Tactical.
And, yeah, it was awesome.
I want Crash Team Racing or Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Like some. I mean, they just released.
They'll definitely have a Spyro game, probably, right?
Yeah, I have Spyro on my list. Crash Bandicoot, Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Ooh, Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Did you guys remember this game? Taxi Driver or something?
Yeah, Taxi.
Driver, right? Taxi is called?
Yeah. Or just Driver was another one.
Yeah,
Where you
but
need to,
no,
like-
the Taxi game it came out for Dreamcast.
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah. And you need to like, and the soundtracks is also amazing. And,
Right.
Oh, it wasn't on PlayStation. No, Dreamcast.
Yeah, it might have been
Dreamcast,
just
okay, my bad.
Dreamcast. Let me see. I'm looking it up. Nick, give us another couple games. What do you think about Spyro? Do you think that's gonna come out?
It's got to be. I mean, Spyro is PlayStation, right?
Right, but
So,
it's
I mean,
hard to say with the Spyro remastered
Right.
version coming out in November this year.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to think, is that gonna work out?
Well, and that's what I was thinking with like Resident Evil as well, because they just had the Resident Evil 2 remake announced that's coming out. But Resident Evil is a huge part of PlayStation as well, I think. So that would be an awesome thing. But
Yeah, it
I
looks
forget
like
about
Crazy
the whole-
Taxi was first released in 1999, so it was Dreamcast. But Crazy Taxi is associated with like PlayStation as a brand here and there because it came out for PS3 and whatnot. Antoine, you didn't play PlayStation growing up?
No.
You're a little bit younger than most of us in the room at least. So.
Yeah, I mean, I could have, but I just didn't have PlayStation. My parents didn't want me to play. So, no, I
smart
don't know
people.
about those games. Smart people. I have one now. I have fulfilled that kind of need.
Sure.
Recently, I'm living alone. I have my own salary. I can buy a PlayStation.
Sure.
Yeah.
After 26 years old.
Yeah. I've been waiting so long.
Right?
So you have PlayStation 4?
Yeah, I have PlayStation
Oh,
4.
nice.
I'm not a big gamer, but with my roommate, we play a lot of Call of Duty.
FIFA?
No, no.
He's not a soccer fan.
Yeah, I'm not
He's
a
the
soccer
only
guy.
French guy who's just not a soccer fan.
That's funny.
So the PlayStation Classic doesn't even come with an AC adapter though.
That is weird.
It's so weird. It comes with like your phone has a USB. Like you charge your phone with a USB. It comes with a USB plug-in. So you plug it into your the selling point's like you can just plug it into your PlayStation 4 or just your TV because a lot of TVs
Okay.
have plugins like that.
All right.
I still think that's weird. I want Harvest Moon Back to Nature on there. I
Yeah.
love that game. That game holds up real well. It still looks good. It's not like the ugly polygons like Final Fantasy 7.
That's funny because actually PlayStation 1 was my last
PlayStation?
Yeah, PlayStation.
Okay.
I stopped after that
Oh, man.
and I moved to PC.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
specifically PlayStation, PS1 and PS2. I was obsessed with. I had everything PS2. Didn't do PS3, and then I stopped gaming basically, and then I got
Right.
Xbox 360
Xbox 360 and then Xbox
and
One.
then
right?
one, yeah.
Yeah.
And now I
I'm
need
glad
to,
you have the Xbox.
now I need to upgrade again though. I need to upgrade soon probably.
You think so?
Probably.
Well, you
I
have
mean,
a 4K TV. You can
I
play
do.
4K games with Xbox One X.
Right.
Yeah. So the PlayStation Classic. Let's talk about the Classic name. They just completely took that from the SNES Classic and the NES Classic. They're taking Nintendo's thunder. Or they're trying to ride their coattails.
Yeah. So and then I was also like, are they gonna? If this does well, are they gonna do like a PS2 Classic? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Where are they gonna go from there? Like, because I don't know. PS2 had a lot of amazing games.
Well,
Yeah.
it may be just because the announcement came out this week about the PlayStation Classic, but Nintendo filed a patent for the Nintendo 64
Oh,
again.
wait.
So they let their patent run out, and then people can make replicas of the
Sure.
controllers and whatnot.
Okay.
Because they aren't holding on to that patent. They don't
Yeah.
have the money fund out for that patent. So
Mhm.
anyway, they filed again. They got it accepted.
Okay.
So they're gonna come out with a Nintendo 64 Classic.
64 Classic?
Probably
I mean,
next year. I'm thinking
I
next
could see that.
year. Yeah, I mean, or Game Boy Classic. One of the two is gonna happen in
Ooh.
next year.
Man, that would be crazy.
But dude, those controllers are so you played Nintendo 64, Antoine.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the three
Yeah,
huge
it's
controllers.
kind of
yeah.
weird. Like,
Yeah,
how are you gonna?
the grab? I mean,
Yeah,
The,
the grabbies.
The grabs.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like you have to hold it differently.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it growing up.
Oh yeah. I mean,
But it's big and bulky. So if you have that plus this and Nintendo 64, even if it's half as big because technology,
Right.
it's still a big box.
Right.
That's gonna cost a lot to ship and manufacture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be more than $100.
probably.
I mean, it has to be. So we threw out some names. I want maybe original Tomb Raider, even though it's ugly and it doesn't look that great. I liked AI, artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that
that.
game. That was that cube game you had to run across. It's kinda
Yeah.
weird.
Jeez. Yeah, there's a lot of good titles.
Their ad too is just a woman holding the classic PlayStation Classic in our hand, exactly like the Super Nintendo ad. They just are taking like so many.
Well, that's why I was like, we talked about it a little bit, but I was like, that's
They replicate.
they can't. So they can't sue or anything. They can't like
I
get
mean, you
rights
can't-
somehow. Like,
yeah, I just
don't know.
don't think that you can like trademark the word classic.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's obviously a total ripoff.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
Well, I'm kind of worrying that. Why didn't they just announce all 20 games at once? Why did they
Right.
only announce 5? Like, what's up with these other 15 games? There's something suspicious going on.
well, generally, I mean, the Nintendo did a really good job of having a lot of quality games, but yeah, maybe they'll just have a bunch of like fluffer, like
You know what they
shitty
should do?
games.
They should do like, you say 20 games?
20
They
games.
They should like release 15 games and they should just say like 5 secret. Like you buy the pack and you don't know like
Oh man.
the last 5 games.
I don't
you
think
know?
so.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it comes out, it will be out on the internet.
Right.
so-
Well, and
That's true.
you can hack these things and put as many games as you want on.
yeah,
it.
like you can hack the NES Classic. I got here in the studio. The NES Classic is Super Nintendo Classic right there. And I haven't even played them. I've literally only played NIS.
right.
So like that's the thing. If I buy those, I'm not even gonna play them. I just know if I buy the PlayStation Classic, I know I'm not gonna play them. So let's just move on though, guys, and to the European U.S. gambling regulators sign agreement to tackle gambling and gaming. I just wanted to talk about this briefly since Clem's on. Clem's a big gambler. He loves to gamble.
I was not anymore.
Not anymore.
I still a little bit, but
So-
nothing as I used to. You know.
Yeah, that's good, Clem. You gotta reel it in. So 16 regulators from France, Spain, UK, Norway, and much more, of course, the US. They are coming together over concerns whether the lines between gaming and gambling are being blurred too much. So I was talking with Antoine before the podcast. It's pretty much like when a video game comes out, it's like multiplayer game, you can buy like a token that will allow you to randomly or possibly get a really rare skin, which a skin is just something like you can put over your character, like a new hat or a backpack. So like for I don't know if they have it in Fortnite, but for sure League of Legends has something
Legend,
similar.
Dota.
Dota. Yeah, you randomly could get this really rare like equipment that makes your character look different. Doesn't
Sure.
change like how they play. Like they don't have more power or anything.
Right. That's
But
how
it-
they make money too. I mean.
Oh yeah, these are all free to play games.
Right.
So yeah, there's going to be some restrictions coming down for sure, especially with 16 countries in on this. France being one of them. Thought that was kind of interesting.
So what's the gambling aspect of it though? Like, what do you?
So you're buying like a token to randomly, like it's like a roulette wheel or something.
Sure.
Randomly get like a rare skin or a really common skin. So the thing is, you spend $5 for this token.
Right.
Well, people are just gonna spend $50 for 10. Oh, if you spend 10, you get an extra 2 or 3 tokens.
Sure.
It's that kind of thing. I'm not like, and no specific games like that much.
Right.
But like, you could spend $100 and get 120 tokens. You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
So they just think it's kind of like taking advantage of people
Oh,
a little
yeah,
bit, like
for
money wise. I mean, definitely as if it's not giving you any sort of advantage. And I mean, I've put a lot of money into like Pokemon Go, for example,
Yeah.
for like no reason. It didn't
Yeah.
give me any. I didn't have any tangible benefit to that. I don't even play the game anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
So I guess that makes-
I put $100 into that game.
Oh, yeah.
Played it. Well, I did put a good amount of time in it, but like when that game first came out, you couldn't even
It was
connect.
terrible. Yeah.
Horrible. We tried connecting at.
People are still going strong, man.
Oh man, that game is still pretty big. But anyway, like in League of Legends, though, you can get like a new skin for your character.
But you can still buy any items if you want, right?
Yeah.
For instance, League of Legends, if you want to buy a skin, you can buy it, right? It's not
Yeah.
only the
Well,
token thing.
I guess I still
Certain skin. That's the thing. Certain skins can
only-
only be got
Okay.
by using that
Okay.
like random.
That's
random
like
thing.
people.
I see.
Okay.
The gambling aspect is
Right,
really.
right.
It
It's like-
is. So gambling.
where it's literally a roulette. I just feel like that's kind of a bad word for it. I don't know.
A lot of well, true. I think gambling is sort of a tax on the poor in a way. Like a lot of people believe it's
Sure.
a tax, another separate tax on the poor, because I mean the house always wins, right? I mean not many casinos go out of business because somebody won too many times.
Right. Yeah.
Like they go out of business because of some shiesty deal in the back or like some sort of thing. I don't know. Exactly. I'm not following why casinos are going out of business, but
Well, in Europe, there's some countries where like gambling, for instance, online for sports or prohibited. You can like
Yeah.
Prague,
Well,
Czech Republic.
Well, we were
it's-
at the hockey game just this last week, Clem.
Right.
NHL pregame. There was like some weird gambling thing going on where people were putting money into a pot, and then they randomly selected one seat in the
oh yeah,
in the arena that won the $9,700.
for whatever the
10
pot is.
grand.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That happens at like Bucks games and stuff too.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. Yeah, was it for someone? I thought that was just like a donation charity thing, but
Yeah, because they announced the winner.
because it was like it
Well-
looks like it was like a medical like thing. No, I mean like a. I
It
don't
might
know.
have been
I thought
sponsored.
that was just like donation, like
It might have
charity.
been sponsored by something, but yeah,
Maybe,
I've
yeah.
been to a lot of hockey games that do that, where it's just like you buy tickets or
Right,
whatever,
right. Just,
and so the more people that buy the ticket, the bigger the pot
Right.
is, and then they just
Oh
randomly
yeah,
select
just a
the.
lucky.
Yeah,
There was like $10,000 or $12,000 at the
Yeah.
end of it, and like some random person won it. They announced it before the third
Yeah.
period.
Well,
And,
I'd say the 10 grand. You know.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's what I'm thinking about. Like gambling is like you're gambling to try to like win money or something, or like have some. I don't know.
Well, I
Sure.
mean,
So-
I think there's two way. I mean, from what I know about gambling, there's two way of gambling. You can gambling on like sports when you put like 20, 30,
Yeah.
50 and it's a one-time thing, you know.
Right.
And people do it a lot. You can gambling like poker, you know, online, and there's another gambling that I still do, but it's still 20. I spend only $20, 20 euros a month, so it's really
Sure.
nothing. But I play for like 5-6 years, so if you count, 6
Sure.
years multiplied by 12, I mean it's
Yeah,
some money.
it adds up.
€240, $360,
Right.
$320.
And
You
it's
assume that he lost everything then.
Yeah.
Did he lose everything? Did you win?
I win some, but I lost way more money than that. And it's like
Hey, at
it's
least he's
only
honest.
it's like two times a week and numbers, you know. It's 5 numbers and 2 special numbers.
Sure.
It's like a lotto,
Yeah.
you know, and you can win like up to like 50 million, like it's
Right. I mean,
I get him when he tells it, you know.
when you can lose up to.
Sounds like he's
Yeah.
trying to sell it to himself again,
Yeah.
get back into it.
No, I mean
trying to
and
justify.
Yeah.
That's funny because actually my mom played that and she got me into that.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Is she still playing?
She still play. I mean,
What is it? You just put money
So is it
in?
like the lottery?
Yeah, it's like you choose numbers and 2 times a week they just draw numbers like
Oh.
and if you have 2 numbers and the special number you get a certain amount.
It's on an app, or your mom just buys it and you pay her?
I play myself. I mean,
How?
it's
Is
just
it online
online,
Oh.
and but it's on TV. Like when they do the draw.
So it's literally like the Iowa lottery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have it here too.
okay.
Okay.
And, and if you have like the 5 numbers, the numbers go from like 1 to I don't know 50 or something like that, and your 2 special numbers, same thing 1 to
Yeah.
50, you got the full thing.
Man.
And so, but like it's so hard because you know there's so many like
Right.
possibilities.
Variables.
Yeah, yeah.
Just play
It's
the
like
Iowa
one
lottery
a
then.
chance of like million and million to got it, but no.
Yeah.
One chance.
I used to work at a convenience store, come and go, and like
Right.
that is a huge thing. People come in with like their tickets, and it's all
Right.
Fill in like the circles,
Exactly.
and then
yeah.
you just put it in the machine,
The
and it prints
machine,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
Whatever.
So,
It's not. It's not.
No.
I mean, when it gets up super high, like 300 million, I'll play just because it's
Yeah,
fun.
just
you know what happens sometimes to me? Like I need to renew every month, every 4 weeks, and sometimes I just forgot about it. And so for 3 or 4 weeks, I just forgot about it, and I'm going back to see the results, and I'm like, did you imagine if mine
If you had
when
them.
I didn't play like
Right.
came out?
Do you do
like-
this just the same numbers every time?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do,
Okay,
You do
okay.
the same numbers every time because otherwise, if you change, it's even worse. Like,
Then they
yeah.
went. Yeah. Then
I got
So how do you choose the number?
I choose them randomly. What I did one time, I was like this. I was clicking,
and you
that's how
stay
I,
with
like-
those numbers, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Moving on, Telltale Games confirmed this week that they have a majority of staff laid off as the studio closes. That is intense. I don't know if anyone here has played Telltale Games, but they're known for kind of reviving the what's it called? Point and click adventure. So this used to be a huge thing growing up. Like in the 90s on the PC, there was like a one screen, and then you like it would be like a detective game or something. Like it's a common theme would be like a detective game or like a funny, hilarious comedy type game, and you would just like you'd have to like figure out like a mystery or a puzzle, and you'd point to like an area of the room and like, oh, behind that book, what's behind there? Like a clue kind of leading you down. Anyways, like all about the story and like a detective situation where you solve puzzles. They revived that though and they brought, instead of comedy, they brought a lot of drama. So like their first game was The Walking Dead. So it was based around The Walking Dead, not the TV show, but like that franchise, that property, where a convict was in the back of a police car as the outbreak happened. Like he was just getting convicted for something that I think a murder that he didn't commit. And then the outbreak happens and the cop like swerves off the road and you have to legit like press buttons on your controller to like get the handcuffs off you, and you're like all woozy. And anyway, it's just like you are not really like controlling him. You kind of are, but you're really just like you're following a movie almost.
Right.
Yeah, and so like then you're pressing commands to make him like open the door, but you're not like controlling his arm or anything. Like it's not like other games.
Right.
So they revived that series. They revived that on consoles and PC and iPhone and iPad. They had all those. They had so many different like partnerships with Game of Thrones and The Wolf Among Us and Minecraft. I think a whole bunch of other properties, like really popular names out there. Batman even. So they had all that. The final season of The Walking Dead was coming out. It's been canceled. They only are going to release the first 2 episodes. So yeah, it's episodic too. I guess I should have said that, but they don't release all of them at once. Like a normal game, it's like you're playing this episode. It's almost like a TV show. Yeah. Like you're watching a movie. You're not really controlling a video game or like controlling the characters. You're like watching a episode of a TV show. It's kind of crazy.
Cool.
But it's really cool, and I actually really liked that first season of Walking Dead back in 2012. It was like held up as like one of the almost the game of year for IGN. I think it was the runner-up. And this is just a tragic loss for gaming because I mean, no one really is making any of these point-and-click adventures anymore. Right. That's what they were known for. So 260 people got laid off. That is a humongous amount of people. This week, actually, Wells Fargo announced that they're going to be laying off 5 to 10% in the next 3 years, which could equal up to 26,000, but still.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't know why I even brought that up.
Are you worried?
No.
All right, good.
Not that I work there or anything. So only 25 employees remain. A lot of those people, though, of the 260 that lost their jobs, like just had gotten hired in the last couple weeks. Yeah. And they had of course, they have like families, dude. Right. Like, what the heck? Some people like moved across the country to work in, I believe, San Francisco. Yeah. I believe. I'm not 100% sure where it's located at, but man, that's just horrible. So they're not finishing The Walking Dead, that game, like I said, which was the original season. The first, like, it's like I said, a TV show. They have episode seasons. They aren't even going to be finishing it. And 25% last fall, they fired 25% of the people. They laid off 25%. That was already not looking good. The CEO left last March. So just this has been a long time coming, really. People could see they were bleeding out for a while. And basically, so when I played this game back in 2012, it had like a lot of glitches. Like there would be stutters in the game. There would be like moments where you pressed a button and it like mattered at the time that you had to press it. Like it was timed, or else you'd be eaten by a zombie, and it just wouldn't work. Like I remember like I switched from Xbox 360 to my iPhone because I thought it would be better. It was worse on my iPhone. I played on my iPad. Right. At the time I had an iPad. And it was just worse. Like there was always glitches. There was like the game engine just wouldn't work well. Like it would just, there was always something going wrong, something going on with the game. So that is like, that bled into like the games media, and everyone was reporting on that. Like, okay, well, even though they have like this awesome Game of Thrones game, whenever you control Peter Dinklage to like, or Tyrion Lannister to do anything, like he's talking, but there's nothing coming out of his like mouth. Like there's no vocal or
it's not synchronized.
Yeah, it's not synced. Like there's always something going on with these games. So even though they always like they put out some of the most beloved like turn-based games, they really just had a game engine that was just Did you ever play any of those games though, Nick?
I did play the Walking Dead one when it came out. I never really finished it.
Same.
It wasn't really my cup of tea per se. I didn't really like it as much, but it was fun.
So you personally
I
don't
played it on mobile. Too.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. So you played it on iPhone. You're huge in The Walking Dead. That's why
Yeah. That's why I wanted to check it out at least.
Yeah, because you've read like most of them, right?
Yeah, I'm caught up on the comic books.
Yeah. Jeez.
So, nice.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Nick actually shared with me a site that you can go to, and like they post a bunch of them for free on there.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, yeah, the show is the franchise, the IP,
Yeah.
the interactive property is like really important to you. Like I know
Definitely.
you've watched the show too a little bit.
Yeah, I fell off after maybe like the 4th or 5th season.
The prison,
like everyone.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I've always kept with the comics. It's kind of been obviously like the longest running comic I've ever read, and the only one really that I keep up on or follow still. So
Yeah, I mean the game. I remember playing episode 1, and I went into like this farmhouse. And I couldn't get out of the farmhouse. Like I just got stuck. And, like I just spent like 3 hours or so like playing this game. I just like
Jeez.
That's when I was like, okay, I'm not gonna play it.
I think it's hard also when you make video games to make a video games not too easy and not too hard. Like
Agreed.
I'm sure a lot of people like that's the job, and what an amazing job, like tasting video game.
Yep.
They try and they to see if it's too hard or if it's too easy. If it's too easy, it's boring, and if it's too hard, it's also annoying. Like
Agreed.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point because so the new Tomb Raider game just came out for PlayStation 4, I believe, and Xbox One. So I mean, it's on my radar to buy it because I have an Xbox One. But I've heard a lot of good things in the reviews about how the difficulty can be adjusted. You can turn up the combat.
Okay.
So if you want to like have really like the enemies really hard, the AI really hard for combat, you can turn that up, or you can turn it down. You can turn up the puzzles. So the puzzles are harder.
Right,
That's cool.
And dude, it's really crazy.
Nice.
Like just like Clem said, that's probably hard to like code.
Right. For instance,
That's awesome.
I mean, one game that came in mind to me is Final Fantasy. We're just talking about
Right.
that. Final Fantasy, I mean, 7 or even the others are actually really good games because they are difficult. Like some of the puzzles are hard. Like I was spending with my cousin 2 hours on like, but but you make it like at some point, and when you and it's like you're not stuck, but it's like just a little hard, but really good.
That
like
was one where we had a guide for it, a guidebook to
right.
like get you through it.
Right. And I mean, right now you can always like
it's just
you go online and you find
Right.
like a solution, but it's interesting how like they need to find balance. So.
And so what were we were talking about games that are just like purposefully difficult, like
Dead Soul or Dark Souls.
Yeah.
So I just bought this game. Listeners playing at home.
Oh yeah.
I just bought this game.
Oh, I didn't know you bought a physical copy. I thought you just bought it on the store.
It was $60 or $40 or $60 on Xbox. That's why I don't like. You can always get the game cheaper in physical form. I bought this game though on Amazon for $16. And I watched like a couple like reviews and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna play this. Like I'm just gonna return it and I get my money back. But it's just gonna be like one of those things. I don't want to. You guys were talking about Final Fantasy. We've been talking about that a lot actually. This podcast, probably the most that we've ever talked about Final Fantasy. But the games are so long, like 60 hours for an RPG. I can't do it.
And see, that's the thing too. I'm not great at games, so whenever someone's like takes 10 hours to beat, I'm like, okay, it's taking 20 hours to beat this.
Well, it doesn't mean that you're not great. So what it could mean is like you aren't running through the story right away. Like for me, Steamworld Dig 2, I looked online before I bought it like a week or so ago. It's like $15 or $20, like whatever. But when you think about, I looked it up online and it was like 7 to 10 hours. I looked at my clock at the end. I would beat it in 12. But it wasn't because I was not good. I just like did a lot of extra stuff. Sure. So that's another thing. Right. But when you think about like, so another conversation maybe we could have, and maybe we can get Antoine's thoughts on this. What do you guys think about that? Like video games, people like look at that $60 price tag and like think, oh, I better get like 100 hours out of this game, because I'm spending $60. But then they'll go out to the bar and have 2 drinks for $20.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they'll go out to a movie for $15 now. It's like at Flicks for movie and a meal, it's like $30-$40 sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
in alcohol, I mean at Flicks specifically. I mean, what do you guys think about that price point? Like, people in the gaming industry, I feel like they judge what they spend on gaming or video games way more than other mediums like movies or music. Music, I mean,
Right.
people won't pay a dime for music these days.
Yeah. Well, so you have certain games like what you were saying, Call of Duty. That's one where you pay that and then you can play like infinitely. You just keep playing and playing and playing. So you're definitely getting your money's worth.
Yeah, that's a good
But
point.
If you have something where it's just a single finite story, point A to Z, and you're done, and that's it, and you can't really play again, that's where I could see if it's not a good like quality game, then I might be a little upset about the price if it was too easy to get through, and
Right. I mean, I don't know what you think, Antoine, but yeah, I mean, I think it's worth to spend $60 on sometimes, even if you spend 12 hours. I mean,
right.
It's a good like.
Would you rather spend $60 on a video game that you had like the best experience on, but was only 3 or 4 hours, or would you rather spend $60 on a game like Call of Duty, where you get to play literally 150 hours before you get sick of it with all your friends?
Yeah.
Right.
And every day, and some nights you get pissed off because you lose. Some nights you're having. I used to be 100% single player,
Right.
and then I played Gears of War. And man, and then
really
League of Legends, which
Sure.
is free, but I still spent $1,000 on skins.
Jeez.
I got all my money back though. There's
Really?
so there's a weird thing with the League of Legends in 2012 where they're like, sorry guys, we are not going to support it on Apple products anymore. If you did purchase on Apple, you can submit an application and get all your money back. I submitted an application, got $550 back, which at that time that's all I had spent, and then I got all that money back deposited in my account. It was
That's
insane.
nuts.
They let me keep all my skins though.
That's crazy.
So I have all these skins,
Free.
and they're classic now. They're vintage skins, legacy skins, and so like they're worth like a good amount of money. I probably could sell my account,
That's
but
crazy.
even though it's illegal, like you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Antoine, I want to get your viewpoint on.
I have never. That's an interest. I have never thought about that. I never bought a game thinking of the time that I would spend on it and how much.
Right.
Basically,
Enjoyment.
every minute of the game is cost you.
Yeah.
every hour.
Trying to
I never
monetize your time.
really think about it this way. Maybe because all the games that I've been playing are not finite stories.
Right.
It's like Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
It's like an universe that, yes, you have a baseline, you have a story, a mission,
Right.
whatever, but you can still do other shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I never thought about it this way.
Yeah.
Actually.
A lot of people in video game, like a lot of really hardcore gamers, they do, and they get crazy online. So, yeah. Anybody else have anything to say about the price point conversation?
Well, I was just gonna say I've never really won lately to like buy full price games. I haven't bought like a brand new full price game for a long time. I've just been recently kind of going back and just playing old games. So, but like one I am going to purchase when it comes out, first day if I can or whatever. It's probably the new Fallout.
Yeah.
Fallout 76. I want to grab that right away.
So
But
if
that's
you do, that makes me want to, because that game is kind of like Antoine's cup of tea. It's like
Yeah.
more
Just-
multiplayer centric. You and I
can
can
put-
like, I think we can. I don't know. I need to look into this more, but I think we can traverse like the wasteland together.
That would be
and
crazy.
like, is
And that's one where I put like 100 hours in and Fallout 4, so I'm going to put a lot of time into it. So I'm definitely going to get more than my money's worth.
No,
I think,
and I mean,
on a $60 game, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when you buy a game, you don't just go to the store and say, "Oh, okay, I picked this one." When you buy a game, you know about it a little bit, and
Yeah.
you buy a game because you want to buy this one. So of course, if that's something that you want, your money is worth it. Like,
And you
Right.
can do your research. There's reviews online.
totally. I mean, obviously, IGN. I listen to podcasts every week. I read the website every single day, pretty much. But back when we were kids, I don't know if Antoine played a lot of gaming when he was younger, but for sure, us, like, we would walk into, at least for me anyway, I'd walk into a store, I'd get one game a month. It was a Game Boy game, or it was on my Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo. That'd be once every 2 months. So, and all I could go off of, I'm a little kid, is the box art.
Cover art, yeah.
Yeah, all I could do is like,
Yeah.
that game looks cool. He has 2 guns in his hand.
Sure,
I guess. Like,
right.
Yeah,
That's
and
how-
you had a couple picture in the back, and you based all your judgment out of those.
and
two
you see
pictures.
like 18 plus, you're like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You just cover with your thumb when you hand it to your mom. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's used to be exactly how I was with music too. I would just
Oh,
go
wow.
into like Target or Walmart and then be like, okay, this looks cool. Or we would have the little things like for fans of Slipknot or whatever,
Oh,
So I
okay.
bought so many random CDs that I had no idea anything about the artist or anything when I was young, and then just
That's
like fell
cool.
in love with it.
It's a good way to discover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not bad. I mean, basically, I was all about music, I don't even know. It was like WWE entrance music and Hanson.
Right.
I don't really think there's no really good way to discover music for me as a kid. Like,
I mean,
so what I want to say about gaming is I went from box art and then just obviously reading magazines.
right.
So like I was huge into Game Informer, Game Pro, Tips and Tricks, all of those
Tips and
awesome
Tricks,
magazines.
yeah.
Dude, I love Tips and Tricks, even though it was
man.
like the worst of all of them.
Dude, I forgot all about that.
But with music, there's no way to discover really. So when I got 16, 17, started going to concerts, I just would listen to the opening band if they were good.
Right.
I would actually like buy their CD or check it out or buy a piece. If the band, I remember there was like a rule for like 3 years for me, like a personal rule. If the opening band really killed it, I bought a piece of merch.
Nice. I mean, that's cool though. Support them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I spent way too much money on merch. We can see in the studio here my shirt wall, and that's literally 1/10. I have 4 or 5 boxes of band tees downstairs.
Crazy.
I'm wearing a band tee that has like holes in it right now because I don't care. It's one of my favorites.
Right.
Floral Green by Title Fight.
Oh yeah.
So real quick, let's get back on track. Let's close out this podcast. Telltale Games, even though all those people lost their jobs. One thing about the gaming industry, even though they're super critical about how many hours you get out of a $60 game, like the fans are super critical, the industry as a whole is pretty awesome because right away there was a hashtag on Twitter called Telltale Jobs, hashtag Telltale Jobs. You can go look it up right now. It's actually really neat. Like all these other developers, like a whole bunch are saying, hey, come out to us, or hey, we have tons of openings. Look at our job board online. And even, I forgot what company, I think it's Ubisoft. They said, hey guys, Monday, 4:30 p.m., San Francisco, which I think is, like I said, where Telltale, I believe, is. Mm-hmm. We're going to have hosting a dinner at this restaurant. We have it all booked, and you can come if you want. We're going to talk about jobs that are in our company, free meal, free consultation, free time. Like just
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
That's super cool.
So like there's a whole bunch of people coming together, whole bunch of companies to help support these people. Like I said, there's literally, like, you can go online and look. There's literally people that moved from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast for this job with their family, uprooted their entire life just 2 weeks ago. Then they get fired or like laid off. It's just super sad.
That's nuts.
This was happening for a while, but hey, Telltale there's an awesome write-up here I have on the video wall. An awesome write-up by Ryan McCaffrey about how Telltale Games on IGN.com really brought out that 90s point-and-click adventure with, here's some games that some people playing at home might recognize. The Monkey Island series, Space Quest, Sam & Max, King's Quest, Full Throttle. So many of those point-and-click adventures. Sam & Max was huge. It was all about that comedy-centric type thing, but he just really, really has this good piece in here and about how great Telltale Games was to revive that point-and-click adventure genre, really, and the right place, the right time with that Walking Dead Season 1.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I never played one of this game. It doesn't. I can't really.
I
Feel
did
now.
play Monkey Island. Now that sparked my memory of that. I forgot all about that game.
Yeah, for sure. And it was huge on PC.
Yeah.
So like a lot of kids played these games on PC. A lot of 90s kids.
Okay.
So there is a game that I actually have on my wish list for Nintendo Switch, which is where I'm doing all my gaming these days. Called Tumbleweed Park. Excuse me. But it's like a point-and-click adventure where somebody goes missing, and you are there's like a screen where there's 3 characters on the screen. You're just like literally like pointing, and like you're not really controlling the character, Yeah. Anyway, kind of sad. I might get into that. Might play a point-and-click adventure in their honor.
Yeah.
On the Switch.
Well, let me know. I'd like to see.
Yeah, and maybe you can like check it out, or like we can play or whatever. When you get back, you better be prepared, Clem, because you're gonna be heading out soon. But you better be prepared to play Super Mario Party.
Ooh,
I already got that pre-ordered, and it's gonna be coming to my house on October 5th.
Man.
So by the time you get back in November, because where are you going?
I'm going to France.
Going back home.
Home 4 months. I will see friends, family. I'm actually gonna travel Portugal and Italy. It'll be sweet.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I can work remotely, so
You're super lucky
great.
that you're able to go home, for a month, 5 weeks ish.
Yeah.
And then you get to work from home and then take 2 weeks of vacation and go
Some
do that
vacation,
traveling.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Your boss is awesome.
Right.
She treats you real well.
She understands this.
So I'm glad we got you on the podcast with
Yeah.
Antoine too, and you're really good friends who just
Yeah.
happened to be in Des Moines. Well, he came to see you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
Seeing each other.
yeah.
No, I came straight for the podcast, man.
Yeah.
You know, he called me.
You
I was
knew
like,
about
man,
it.
we have
It's
we
not
have
in
a
the
podcast
show.
to do.
That's
No,
awesome.
I mean, yeah, we try to, it's hard to get together when you don't live in the same city. And
Sure.
if you live 2 hours away, it's easy. You can just come for the weekend, driving, whatever. But when you live in Detroit and in Des Moines, it's far. And so
What is
it's
that,
hard.
like 7 hours?
Yeah, eight
Oh,
hours. And there's an
man.
hour difference, so so yeah, we try to get together. Chicago, we try to see each other as much as we can. It's
Maybe
nice.
you can come back for Clem's birthday. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Why not?
Then we can show you how we really party, because we went home pretty early last night.
Right.
This time I will rent a plane and we'll party.
Rent a-
in
Oh
the-
my gosh! You moved from a party bus to a party
Exactly.
plane.
Man, someone's making big money.
Yeah.
You can help me.
We'd all have to chip in a lot. All right, guys, we'll close out episode 89 of EZPZ Podcast. Like I said, we're getting close to that episode 100 celebration.
Woo.
Yeah. So you can find me at Sean S. Johnson on everything. Instagram, Twitter. You can find the EZPZ where I'm posting about these articles that we're talking about, these current events and whatnot, at the EZPZ on everything. Nick, where can they find you?
Instagram, bazooka_Nick. Facebook, Nick Andy Art.
Yeah, heck yeah.
That's it.
Clem?
You can actually. I just got on Instagram. So
Yeah.
you can find me
Instagram's
at-
fun.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I don't know why I never been. You can find me at Clemchix, TUX at the end. We'll see some pictures of sailing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah,
Take
dude, just
pictures of your
post, like-
travels.
Yeah, post your travels, post your
Right.
hobbies. I consider Instagram like my favorite now because it's just like always positive stuff, really.
Right.
And it's not like Twitter where there's so much hate and disgustingness on Twitter. Facebook, people are commenting on Facebook
Right,
and
right.
disgusting crap. Instagram's like my digital scrapbook or like digital diary.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I love to like go back 2 years ago and like
Right.
oh, remember
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the last year going back and looking at Voodoo
Yeah.
like in New Orleans, you know?
No, for sure. And I have a ton of pictures. I need to make a better effort of like posting picture. I'm really bad at that, but I need to.
So Clem Tux.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. We'll make sure the listeners see that on the video right now. And Antoine, where can they find you?
Well, still Instagram. I mentioned earlier, Easy Speakeasy.
Just like normal spelling?
Yeah, it's all attached. Easy Speakeasy.
EASY and then speak easy.
Speakeasy.
Wow, that's actually a good
one
tag.
word.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not very active on it. Anyone's welcome to follow me, of course. And what you'll see is mostly pictures. Nothing really linked to cocktails so far,
Okay.
but there may be soon. I'm making some.
Yeah.
So I may
Yeah.
take good pictures of my.
Are you
of
like
my,
trying
my
to
great
learn how to
girls.
make cocktails? So you
Oh,
think-
yeah.
He's making really
Yeah.
good cocktail.
Wow.
We've been my roommate and I have been taking classes. They call that mixology class.
Oh yeah, we have them here in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, we fell in love with that. I mean,
That's
not
awesome.
with alcohol, but
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's a
It's
thing.
it's an art though.
Yeah.
Last time when I visited Antoine in Detroit, he made me a cocktail with an egg.
Oh, weird. Crazy.
Whiskey, what? Whiskey, right?
Yeah, whiskey sour. I mean, it's kind of classic, but
Okay,
it's fun.
sorry.
No. It's a whiskey sour, of course.
It's really good.
But yeah, we have that. My roommate and I got into that at the same time, and it's pretty fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, we do some cocktails parties sometime for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun. We'll have a lot of
Sounds
fun.
good.
Thank you everybody for listening to episode 89 of Easy Peasy Podcast, and we out.
Bye.